Arsenal in the UEFA Champions League. A tactical battle defined by control, courage, and fine margins. Under the bright European lights, Arsenal stepped onto the Champions League stage tonight, carrying both expectation and belief. This was not just another continental fixture. It was a test of maturity, tactical intelligence, and the club's evolving European identity under Mikel Arteta. From the opening whistle, the match revealed itself as a complex chess game, one where Arsenal sought control through structure, while their opponents aimed to disrupt rhythm and exploit transitions. Match context and mentality. Coming into this game, Arsenal knew the stakes were high. Champions League football does not forgive lapses in concentration, and every phase of play, build-up, transition, and defensive organisation must be executed with precision. Arteta set his team up with a clear objective: dominate possession, compress the pitch, and suffocate the opponent's attacking outlets before they could gain momentum. The mentality was evident early on. Arsenal pressed with intent, but not recklessness. Rather than launching an all-out high press, they employed a situational press, springing forward when triggers appeared, poor touches, backward passes, or isolated fullbacks. This balance between aggression and restraint defined much of Arsenal's approach. Tactical shape and structure. Arsenal lined up in a flexible system that morphed depending on the phase of play. On paper, it resembled a 4-3-3, but in possession, it often transformed into a 3-2-5. One fullback inverted into midfield, sitting alongside the holding midfielder, while the opposite fullback pushed high to stretch the pitch. This shape allowed Arsenal to maintain numerical superiority in midfield progress, the ball through short, sharp combinations, pin the opposition's defensive line deep. The centre-backs played a crucial role, stepping into space confidently and breaking lines with progressive passes. Their composure under pressure ensured Arsenal could recycle possession without panic, even when the opposition attempted to press aggressively. Midfield battle, control versus disruption. The heart of the match lay in midfield. Arsenal's central trio worked tirelessly to dictate tempo. One player sat deeper, acting as the metronome, while the other two operated between the lines, constantly offering passing angles and dragging markers out of position. What stood out was Arsenal's positional discipline. Players rarely vacated zones unnecessarily. When one midfielder advanced, another instinctively dropped to maintain balance. This spatial awareness limited counter-attacking opportunities and allowed Arsenal to quickly regroup after losing possession. However, the opposition were not passive. They attempted to disrupt Arsenal's rhythm with physical duels and quick vertical passes. At times, Arsenal were forced into lateral circulation, slowing the tempo and probing patiently rather than forcing risky passes, attacking patterns and chance creation. In the final third, Arsenal showed variety. They alternated between quick combinations through central corridors, overloads on the flanks, cutbacks from the half spaces. The wingers played a vital role, holding width initially before making diagonal runs inside. This movement unsettled the opposition's defensive shape and created pockets of space for midfield runners arriving late into the box. Despite this, clear-cut chances were hard to come by. The opposition defended compactly, often dropping into a low block with minimal space between the lines. Arsenal responded intelligently, recycling possession and waiting for the right moment rather than resorting to hopeful crosses. Defensive solidity and transition control. Defensively, Arsenal were impressive. Their rest defence, the positioning of players behind the ball during attacks, was well organised. Even when committing numbers forward, Arsenal ensured they had sufficient cover to deal with counter-attacks. When possession was lost, the reaction was immediate. Players swarmed the ball carrier, delaying progression and allowing teammates to recover. This counter-pressing limited the opposition's ability to exploit open spaces and maintained Arsenal's territorial dominance. The goalkeeper, though not heavily tested, remained alert and vocal, organising the backline and ensuring concentration did not drop during quieter periods of the game. Second half adjustments. As the match progressed, both teams adjusted. The opposition increased intensity, pressing higher and committing more players forward. Arsenal responded by varying their build-up, occasionally playing more directly to bypass pressure and reset the attacking phase higher up the pitch. Substitutions brought fresh energy. Arsenal introduced players capable of carrying the ball at pace, adding unpredictability and forcing the opposition to defend deeper once again. These changes helped Arsenal regain control during critical moments when momentum threatened to shift. Game state and overall balance. By the final stages, the match remained finely balanced. Arsenal controlled possession and territory, while the opposition relied on moments of transition and set pieces. The scoreline reflected the tactical tension, neither side willing to overcommit, both aware that a single mistake could define the outcome. What was clear, however, was Arsenal's growing confidence at this level. They played with authority, intelligence and patience, qualities essential for success in the Champions League. Conclusion. Signs of a European-ready Arsenal. This match may not be remembered for relentless goal-mouth action, but it showcased Arsenal's evolution. They demonstrated tactical flexibility, mental resilience control in high-pressure European conditions. While there is still room for improvement, particularly in converting dominance into goals, this performance underlined that Arsenal are no longer just participants in the Champions League. They are competitors, capable of imposing their identity and adapting to the demands of elite European football. If they continue to build on performances like this, Arsenal's Champions League journey this season could extend far beyond the group stages, and perhaps, in time, bring them closer to continental glory once again.